There's no denying the fact that many of the issues plaguing the constituency of St. George North could use the expertise of an engineer. But in addition to convincing constituents of his readiness to serve, Grenville Phillips II, an engineer, is struggling to break down years of loyalty to the country's two main political parties. This is one of the things that we've been hearing from Grenville Phillips II over and over again.
Yes.
I am an engineer.
Yes.
I am an engineer. One of the questions that I heard one of the young men that you were speaking to ask, what else are you bringing to the table?
Yes. And that's a very good point, because I've heard that criticism now that I kept saying I was an engineer. But it's because perhaps I didn't explain. I'm a highly qualified structural engineer. And therefore, when a question came up about houses, I will then say I'm a structural engineer. But I'm also a highway and transportation engineer. So when the question came up about roads, a structural engineer does not design roads. A highway engineer designs roads. So then I had to make the point that I am a road engineer. And then when they heard engineer twice, they say, well, what else is he? But that's a significant thing, because it takes a lot to be an expert in more than one engineering discipline. But then when the question came up about drainage and those things, I just had to explain then that I was also an environmental engineer. And talking about asthma, I'm an environmental engineer. That's a separate, completely separate discipline that I happen to be an expert in. So then they hear engineer 3 times and they wonder, well, is this man going to stop talking about engineering? But they must understand that there are different problems that require a different solution, but a different engineering solution, a different engineering discipline for that solution. And then again, the planning and the adjudication. So I mentioned these qualifications, but I didn't get a chance to explain them. But that's it. So planning is another discipline, and I happen to be a qualified planner. Adjudication, I have to be a qualified adjudicator. So that's it. So when you ask what other things, they're all things that are related to my training and my 30 years of experience.
The Solutions Barbados leader, who amassed the 3rd highest number of votes when he contested the seat at the 2018 general election, is once again bringing an ambitious plan to the fore. It includes a massive housing development and refurbishment project that will employ both skilled and unskilled workers from the constituency to earn between $100 and $150 a day. He is also committed to raising a volunteer force of 350 to patch potholes throughout the constituency on Saturdays. Of course, these solutions are all in line with his expertise as an engineer. He also intends to facilitate training in online business development to help aspiring entrepreneurs succeed.
This is just to find out how viable are third parties in modern Barbados. If the people, they do not have to vote for B's and D's to get their party in power. They will not get their party in power in this election. Therefore, they have a chance to vote for their own interests in this election. Their own interests, not the interests of their party. In 2.5 years, they can vote for their party's interests. But in this election, they can vote for their own interests. Every unemployed person employed. Prosperity, real prosperity and real wealth for the people of St. George North, to show the other constituencies it is possible in modern Barbados for a constituency of people to be wealthy. And if they decide now, after that, to say, I want the B's, I want the D's, I want to vote for poverty, then it will mean that third parties are not viable in modern Barbados.
Contrary to the belief of some, Phillips says his party is still very strong. But the real test on November 11th will be whether constituents are ready for his solutions after years of allegiance to the traditional political parties. Kareem Smith for Barbados Today.